welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosie. I am Rosie X Stitches here on YouTube and over on Instagram. First of all, thank you so much to everybody who took the time to watch my video. It was a bit of a hot mess with the random chipmunk editing going on and just me being all over the shop with organisation. So first of all, thank you very much to everyone who took the time to watch and also watch more than just the first few minutes and decide to turn off. So thank you very much indeed to everybody. It is now Saturday the 16th of May, so it's just under a month since I last spoke to you. The way that my floss tubes seem to have fallen are that it's sort of every halfway, just about 2/3 of the way through the month, just over halfway through the month, that I will be filming. It's, as I said, it's a Saturday today, so it works quite nicely. My partner works nights at the moment and he is upstairs in bed. My son has just gone down for his nap of the day, so the house is quiet. Hopefully there should be no interruptions, and so it's the perfect time for me to film. I was undecided whether or not to try and move it to the end of the month, but from looking at what I've been stitching, I've got quite a lot to show you, and as we've seen, my editing can be a bit on the rusty side, so leaving a video to try and cover a month and a half would mean that it would be longer, and my editing skills are clearly not up to that at the moment. So I've gone for a month and we'll see how we go from there. I am also filming in a slightly different way today, so if there are any issues with it sound wise, please do let me know, and I can always revert back to my way of filming from the previous video if that is better. So today I have got 3 finishes to show you, 2 whips and 7 new starts. I'm not sure how I've managed to get 7 new starts. It's almost as many, I don't know. I have no idea how I've managed to end up with 7 new starts in this amount of time, but we have 7. Next month, or for the next few weeks, I'm really going to try not to make any new starts or have any new starts, because I've got to try and get some of these whips off now the whip list. So I'm going to dive straight into the stitching with my 3 finished items. Finish number 1 since I've last seen you is Love Is My Jam. So this is Love Is My Jam by SweetWingStudio. It's stitched on a 28 count even weave by Coffee Craft Fabrics, and it is stitched using the called for, which are classic colourworks, I believe, and possibly a couple of weeks dye works as well. So it's all using overdyes in this. I started this on the 28th of February 2026 and I finished it on the 19th of April 2026. So I'm really pleased with this one. Don't often use variegated threads. I've got a few in my stash. I haven't got a huge amount, so I have to make the conscious effort to buy them in preparation for the kits, whereas normally I'm quite an impulsive starter, so I like to just start it straight away, so I end up just using the DMC conversion. But for this one I did go for the variegated flosses, and I'm really pleased with how it's come out, particularly on the purple jar here. So yeah, that was finish number 1. Finish number 2 was my very first Needlelot designs piece. Now this is, I really thoroughly enjoyed stitching on this one, and as a result I've already started to think about my next Needlelot designs pattern. I'm going to try and be strong and not start it, as I said, I've got to try and get a few things ticked off my whip list at the moment, so maybe if I get a couple of finishes I can then treat myself to start that one. So my next finish was the Baby Jackalope by Needlelot Designs. I apologise that it hasn't been ironed. I don't actually own an iron. I'm more of a shake and hang it up kind of a girl when it comes to clothing. So yeah, I don't have an iron. So apologies. So yeah, this is Baby Jackalope by Needlelot Designs. I started this on the 15th of April 2026 and I finished it on the 6th of May 2026. It's stitched on a 28 count unnamed fabric by Stitch Bunny Shop, and it should have around the outside some leaves and foliage. However, I decided not to stitch those and to omit them, just so that I can see more of the fabric, because it's such a beautiful fabric. I didn't want to just cover it all up with the stitching. So that is my second finish. Baby Jackalope, look at his little face, look, oh so cute. That one is stitched with DMC and Royal Embroidery, a mixture. I've got a master set of DMC, I say DMC, I started kitting up my master set with DMC, and then the prices of DMC just skyrocketed, and so I started using Royal Embroidery. So now any threads that I tend to buy in bulk are Royal Embroidery threads, and so they've just been thrown in with my master set of DMC when I've run out of those other colours as well, so I can't actually tell whether it's DMC or Royal Embroidery. They're all 100% cotton. Apparently, if I've got a very sharp eye, you can see, because there's a slight shine to one or other of them. I can't see it, so they're all just thrown in together as a happy family. My third and final finish is my Nut Hut of Pixie Lane, and this is by Pine Needles. This was a free chart. I don't know if it's still a free chart now. I haven't checked, but I will leave a link below for the website, so you can go and have a little look. This is originally in a run, so it's normally a whole piece. I'll insert a picture here of what it looks like in its normal form. I've decided to split them and do each little house and put the different years. So I've got 2023, 24, 25 and now 2026. And the plan is to make them all into little pillows and stuff them with the orts of that year. So when at the end of 2026, I will make this into a pillow and stuff it full of all the orts from 2026 to go with the others. I say to go with the others, I haven't actually FFO'd any of the others yet. That is on my to-do list. I think I'm going to have to start setting myself a monthly challenge of FFOing something every month, because otherwise my pile of FFOing to-do list is going to get massive and I'm going to have no FFOs. So that is that one. So that is stitched on a 28 count unnamed coffee craft fabric using DMC Royal Embroidery combination, and it's 2/2. Sorry, I'm a bit rusty, I keep forgetting things, so I do apologise. If there's any information I have forgotten and you'd like to know, please just drop me a message and I will do that. Right, so that's my 3 finishes. I'm now going to move on to my 2 solo whips. That should be more. That's an embarrassment really, isn't it? I've only got 2 whips that I've worked on. But hey ho. So this first whip is my Beaver Moments 3. So I'll put a picture in here of what it will look like when it's finished. And I will put in a picture here next to it of where it was when you last saw it. So I'll put a picture here. And then this is where we are now. So hopefully you can see some nice progress. From memory, I've stitched, filled in more of him, done his hat and some of the yellows and browns down here as well. So I started stitching this one with Lauren of Cross Stitch Bunny and Charlie of Stitches with Charlie Feathers. And this is a Charlie Feathers needle-minder as well, which is purely coincidence. And this was started on the 7th of April 2026, International Beaver Day. And I'm slowly plugging away at it. It is stitched on a 28 count linen by Stitch Bunny, and it is 2/2 full cross. There are some fractional stitches in here, and there is also an awful lot of back stitch to come later on. This one is currently at 46.9% complete. So I've still got to put in, there's another beaver down here which you'll have seen from the picture before, and all the back stitch. But because it's in Saga, it also includes all of the back stitch in the percentage, so that is 46.9% of the whole pattern rather than just of the crosses. So that is whip number 1. Whip number 2. Oh, this is a bit out of, this was actually So Beaver Moments was also was one of the, so one of my whip go calls from previous month was to stitch on an animal theme project, and I didn't manage to squeeze in all the time that I needed to do on it. So that was one day stitching to catch up and to be able to tick off that whip go. So now that whip go call is now complete for that animal project. And then this, my next whip is for another whip go call, which was for this month, and I also had one day to catch up on it from a previous month as well. Because my whip goes are, if a whip go is called, it is 4 days, and I say 4 days, but my stitching time can be quite limited and is generally only in the evenings or during my son's nap time, if I haven't got other bits and pieces that I need to do. So generally, as long as I stitch on it on an hour, for an hour a day, I'm classing that as a day. So it's not a huge amount of time really. Minimum of 4 hours each project would get, theoretically. So as I said, this was whip go call for this month, so I've now ticked off all of those. I've done 4 days on this, and I also did an extra day to catch up on a day that I had missed. So this is Ready for Christmas Stocking by Joan Elliot. I'll put a picture up here of what it will look like when it's finished, and this is where we are now. Oh, look at his little face. So this is a 25 stitched on 25 count sparkle snow even weave. It's stitched in DMC and Royal Embroidery, along with some Krynic. There is Krynic here, so this gold bit here is Krynic. And as you can see, there's lots of back stitching in there. There is fractional stitches in it too, and French knots. I even have, I'm well chuffed with myself here. So I've attempted some French knots. There are 3 French knots in there. Normally I sidestep the French knots and I add beads in instead, but I pulled my big girl pants up, as Sherry would say, and I had a go at some French knots. And they don't look horrendous, especially if it's held back a bit. So yes, that is Ready for Christmas Stocking by Joan Elliot, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I was a bit unsure about the back stitch on here. So it's very 90s back stitch, whereby it follows the outside of the stitches rather than cutting across the stitches. I was a bit unsure about how it would look, but it's not horrendous. I don't hate it. But I'm not at a stage in my stitching where I'd be prepared to try and rechart it myself. So yeah, this one's now going to go away, and it will probably make a return for in July, for Jolly July. Jolly July, Christmas in July. However we celebrate it, but that's I am planning on doing that this year, so that will make an appearance then. So I was going to zip it up and then I remembered not to. So that is my 2 whips done. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say that's at 27.39% complete. But as it's on Pattern Keeper, it doesn't take into account the back stitch, and as I've just shown you, there is quite a lot of back stitch. It's quite heavily back stitched. So 27.39% of the crosses are complete. Right, now we're going to move on to my new starts. Oh gosh, Rosie, 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 why have you got so many new starts? Right, okay. So the first new start that I have, which is lots and lots of people have started this, it's still in my hoop, my nerd, as I'm just trying to chip away at it, is this one. So this is my first new start since I last saw you. This is Museum After Midnight, and it's the new Lola Crow stitch along. I started this on the 24th of April 2026 when it was released. It's stitched on 36 count brown sugar Edinburgh linen from Fibre on a Whim. I got this when Patchwork Rabbit were doing the Fibre on the Whim fabric club, and yep, so that's when I picked this one up. And it's stitched in DMC Royal Embroidery 2/2 full cross. So that's where we are at the moment. It is currently at 36.91%, and yesterday marked the halfway point of the frame. So that's 36.91% of the frame complete. It's a slog, I'm not going to lie. It's my first Lola Crow. I want to try and get the frame complete for the first drop, but it was halfway. So we've had 6 weeks to do the frame. The halfway point was yesterday. I am not at the halfway point. So this is either going to be have to take some real intensive stitching to catch it up, or I'm going to just have to accept that I'm not going to be able to keep up with this. Luckily, Lola Crow did produce a picture which showed where the first exhibits are going to be, and they're all going to be in the bottom part. So I have focused my attention on getting these bottom parts finished, so if nothing else I can at least get that done, and then I'll be ready for the first exhibits when they do get released, is my theory. Yeah. Okay, so that's my first one, my first new start. My second new start was the Welcome to the Nut House. So this was one of my plans that I said that I wanted to start in my last Flosstube episode. And I did it. I did. I have actually stuck to the plans that I said that I was going to do. Here is what the... Oh, hang on, sorry, excuse me. I flipped the pattern the other way so that I can see it through the plastic bag to protect it. Now I can show you. So this is what this one will look like when it's finished. Welcome to the Nut House by Waxy Moon Designs, and this is where I have got to. So it says Elcom to the. Welcome to this. So not a whole lot amount to see. I have got the overdyes for this one. So I will be using those to complete it. This is on I did just look and I've completely forgotten, a 28 count unknown linen. It's quite a loose linen actually, but makes it easier to stitch on sort of at night, which is helpful. I do apologise about the creases. It looks awful. But yeah, there is my start for Welcome to the Nut House. I have got the flosses here. So we have got some beautiful flosses of, these are all Gentle Arts and a couple of DMCs, but mainly Gentle Arts. Me trying to get all fancy with holding everything up. So they're the colours that we'll be using. Sorry, some of them do look a little bit tatty because they're the ones that I've started using already. They never look as beautiful as they do when they first arrive. So yeah, that's Welcome to the Nut House. That one was started on the 30th of April. So I squeezed it in as a last minute all the starts April project because I needed new starts. I always need a new start. I did have a round number of new starts at the end of April, so I wanted to start another one. You don't need any more new starts, Rosie. You don't need any more new starts. My next new start is Beach Rules by Primrose Cottage. So this is one that as soon as I saw it, I had to have it. So yeah, Beach Rules. And here is my start. So we have got, this is stitched on 32 count parchment from Weeks Dye Works, and it's in a linen, and this was purchased from the Talking Dog Stitchery. It's stitched using all the classic colour work called for colours, and it's 2/2 full cross. There is going to be some backstitch. I've even started doing the backstitches as I've gone along, so this shell here is backstitched. So that is my teeny tiny start for Beach Rules. This one was started when we had a little spell in the UK of some really lovely hot weather. So I was like, oh, I'm going to start it because I'm feeling summery. And then the summer has just disappeared and we're back to rain again. But it is what it is. So that was that one. My next new start, so 1, 2, 3, fourth new start is, oh, this one is lovely. So this one I started in honour of the one and only Sir David Attenborough. I am a huge David Attenborough fan. I watch all of his documentaries. I could just listen to him speaking all day, every day. He's one of those voices that if he read you a story, it's just soothing. So love David Attenborough. And he turned 100 on the 8th of May. So on the 8th of May, I started Lemuria. Or Lemuria. Lemuria from Our Forest Embroidery. I'll put a picture up here of what it will look like when it's finished. It's a beautiful piece. I have got all of the Our Forest threads for this one, which, you know, are lovely, lovely variegation in them. I'm a bit annoyed with myself that I didn't finish my monkey off, so I've got half a monkey there. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful stitch. So this is by Our Forest Embroidery. It's been stitched on a 32 count woodland fern from Stony Bank Creations. It was one of her fabric of the months, so I was very lucky when she first announced she was going to do a fabric of the month club. I was straight on to that and I was like, please can I join? And I was one of the lucky people that was allowed to join in the first instance. This isn't particularly showing, it's a lot brighter than that in person. As I said, I'm stitching it with all the Our Forest embroidery threads, and it's 2/2 full cross. And there is backstitch and French knots in this, but now I'm a whiz at French knots. They won't be a problem. Yeah, only 2 French knots look the same in my household. So yeah, that is that one. Beautiful. I don't think you can quite appreciate this fabric, to be honest. It's just, no, you can't even see. It's much brighter. It's beautiful. Really, really impressed with this fabric. Really impressed. And I've got another piece to show you that I received very recently, which was the last bit of April's fabric of the month. I've just realised as I'm filming this, when I'm looking down at my notes, I'm tilting to the side. I do apologise. That's one thing I'm not going to be able to edit out, is me half missing. I have to superimpose myself into the video. Do apologise, I'll shimmy myself over a little bit so that I'm more central and so my face doesn't keep just dropping off the side there. Next one, oh, is a beautiful, and my final one currently, of the Unicstitch, sorry about the glare, patterns. So as I showed in my last video, I've stitched the other 5 of the 6 marine creatures that have been released so far, and this is my 6th. Here he is, my 6th ornament. I did speak to the ladies at Unicstitch and they said they are planning on releasing a further additions to this collection in the summer, so I am poised and ready to get those ordered as soon as they drop. In the meantime though, I have got some Christmassy ornaments that are currently with Lauren of Cross Stitch Bunny. We put an order in together, so she has got some Christmassy ones. I'm hoping to see her early next month to be able to get them from her, and then they will be started for Jolly July. So another new start coming that way of these beautiful kits. Anyway, back to the turtle. So this is Turtle, and it is by the Unicstitch company. It is stitched on the plastic canvas with all the kit fabric, all the kit materials. So there is beads to go on there. This is currently at 56.1%. So I'm over halfway now, and that does include all of the beading and backstitch because it is in Saga. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. I know I'm forgetting stuff. As soon as I put a project down, I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell you that. So I forgot to tell you what percentage the Lemuria was on. So if you are interested, it's on 2.03%. Not very far at all, so it's quite a biggie. It's quite a biggie. My final new start, which was one that I did say in my last Flosstube that I wanted to start because I've been enabled. So my final new start is When I Think of Spring by Puntini. This is the most minimal start. Oh, here it is. So apologies about hanging thread. This is one I started last night. So this is where we are. So this is the eye for the spring, and this is the hands or the arms shading for the bunny. This is stitched on a 32 count natural beige linen, and it's been stitched with all the DMC, call for DMCs, all Royal Embroidery. There is some backstitch in here as well. And I also have, because I bought this quite some time ago with every intention to do it straight away, best made plans, I have the beads to go with it. Oh, sorry, there they are, the beads. And I also have the pins. So when this is finished, I'll make it into a pillow, and it will have the buttons and the pins to go with it. However, it will be out of season because we're coming to the end of spring now and heading into summer. But by next spring, it'll be ready to go. So yeah, that is that one. That is a paper chart, so there is no statistics to go with that one. I didn't forget this time. So that is, oh no, I've forgotten one. I haven't written it in my book. That's why I've forgotten it. Oh no, tut tut tut. Last but by no means least is, I'll put it up on the screen, is my Iceberg, Arctic Animals Iceberg by Durene Jones, and it is out of the World of Cross Stitch magazine. I don't know which issue it is. I will put that all in the notes below. So this is my start, and this is being stitched on a 28 count even weave on the ocean. So it's a called for fabric. So as you can see, it's got the sky printed at the top and then the sea underneath, and then we'll have the iceberg in the middle. I'm stitching this with all the DMC, call for DMCs, 2/2 full cross, and I'm joining in for this one with the Whale Hello There Sal, which is being run by the lovely Charlie, and I'll put all of her details on the screen and underneath. I have to be honest, I didn't realise there were so many whale patterns since following Charlie, and yeah, it's been lovely to see the variety of whales that have been stitched and been brought out. So lovely, really nice. So that is all my new starts. That's all my new starts, all my whips, all my finishes. So now I'm going to move on to my giveaway. So last video I said that I'd be giving away this pattern to mark my return to Flosstube, and I asked people to use the word time for their in the comments below, and I randomly picked using the comment picker, and the winner is Joe Cat Lady 84, and I'll put your comment on the screen as well. So if you want to drop me a message on Instagram, I will also put or in the comments below, and let me know how the best way to contact you is, so I can get your address, and then I'll get this sent out to you. So very well done, and thank you very much everybody who entered. I did have a bit of a, so I obviously picked the word time for it, and then I somehow managed to use time in a huge number of my comments, and when I random comment picked it the first time round, it came up with my own comment. So if anyone knows how to get rid of that option, that it won't let you pick your own comments, because I had replies off and all that sort of stuff on there, so I don't know what I managed to do. But anyway, I will have to pick a more obscure word next time that I'm not going to use in my responses to people's comments. You live and you learn, you live and you learn. Okay, so the next part is I'm just going to show you a few of the new purchases that I have made. I know some people aren't interested in this, so if this is something that you're not interested in, thank you very much indeed for your time today, and I hope that you will join me again in the future. If you have seen something you've liked, please do feel free to like, comment or subscribe, and I really do appreciate any interactions I have with any people who choose to watch. So, bye-bye if you're leaving me now, and we will make a start on the haul section. So, I have been good-ish I'm going to go for. So, one of the first purchases that I have, I've already mentioned this before. This is a piece of Stony Bank Creations Fabric of the Month. This is, I believe, was April's Fabric of the Month, and it's called Blue Lagoon. It's a beautiful blue mottled colour, very subtle mottling but beautiful, really lovely. And this is a 32 count even weave. Really pleased with that one. It's so soft. So that will be going away to have something stitched on it at some point. I've not got any plans for that one at the moment, but great to have in stash. It's a beautiful colour. So thank you very much, Vicky at Stony Bank Creations. The next thing that I spotted since I last saw you was this pattern from Flossabilities. I haven't stitched any of the abodes in different environments before, but when I saw this one, I was like, I have to have that, because my front room, my living room, is a sort of African animal inspired. It's embellished with sort of African animal stuff. So I've got a big African elephant, I've got a zebra mask, I've got pictures of giraffes. So it's very much a safari, savannah vibed room, and I thought that actually that would work beautifully hung above my TV. So I've got that, and luckily the called for fabric was brick. And look what I had in stash. So it's just made to be. So this is a 36 count brick Edinburgh linen. So I will be stitching this, stitching on this one at some point. But yep, had this in stash to happy days, but I have bought the pattern this month. Sorry about the crinkling on the fabric. The next thing that I bought is that Lakeside Needlecraft had a sale on their Mill Hill kits, and I needed some more to finish off my collection. So these are the two that I bought. I bought the snowman, the Jim Shore Mill Hill snowman, and I bought the reindeer. I'll move my finger so you can see the code if you're interested. So I bought both of those in the sale that they were running, full kits with all the beads and the threads. These ones are stitched on fabric rather than on perforated paper, but they are beautiful. And I already have, if I show you on the back, I already have the Santa and the tree. So I've now got all four for that. So that is one of my Jolly July Christmas New Start plans. So I have to get stitching, so I've got to get some of these whips out of the way so that I can then start my Christmassy stitching. And then the final thing is I finished off my Needlelot design baby jackalope, and I have said to myself I'm not going to start any new patterns by designers I've already got. However, now that that Needlelot Designs pattern is complete, I have space for a Needlelot Designs pattern. So I'm looking to stitch this one here. I'll put a picture in here because I've got the Kindle edition of the book. And so this is the beautiful book by Needlelot Designs, and I'm going to be stitching the magpies, which is very, very popular. So I've got this, it's looking very purple on the screen, but actually it is blue, and this is a 32 count Luella's fabric, and I had this in the Fabric of the Month Club a little while ago, November Fabric of the Month Club. I want to say, was it last year? And my haul, so I've had this for a while, my haul that I got was I got some skeins of 939, as that is the very dominant colour in the pattern for the bird outlines. So I got some 939, and it is DMC because I had a Hobbycraft voucher, so I managed to get those using my voucher instead of having to spend my own money. So very nice indeed. So that is, I think, everything I have done this month. My plans moving forward is I need to catch up on my museum after midnight sal, try and get as close to a finish as possible with that. I would also like to, I need to start ticking off some of these whips because I'm starting them like it's going out of fashion, and I'm just not getting the other ones over the line. So I need to do that. Yeah, I think that is everything. So I will say thank you for spending some time with me. I will see you again very soon, hopefully in a month or so's time. I'm going to attempt to edit this and see how I get on. If there is any stray or random things that go on, I can only apologise in advance. And so, yeah, you have a lovely next few weeks. Happy stitching, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.